Hi everyone, welcome to The Edge. This is a weekly show that we're putting together here at Sparx Hockey. This has been a dream of mine for a long time. I've been wanting to share the story of building Sparx Hockey. We've been at this for 5 years, so there's a lot that we can share with you guys in terms of hockey, developing the skate sharpener, entrepreneurship, Kickstarter, just basically coming to market with a business, and looking really forward to this. So if you have any questions, please definitely send those to us, either at help@sparxhockey or through any of our Facebook posts, and hopefully we can share what we've learned over these last 5 years. So with that, I'm going to ask Ryan, who's here, to give me one of the first questions that we've received.
All right, let's get into it. Let's start with what did you do before? Let's start with you. What led you into starting Sparx?
So prior to Sparx Hockey, I was designing for about a dozen years, designing medical devices. I worked at really, really big companies like General Electric, designing stuff for their surgical group that was doing spine surgery, all the way to most recently I was working in a women's healthcare company designing devices for surgery for females. So that experience really gave me a lot of engineering tools to solve complex problems. I'd say the medical world also introduces you to a lot of technologies for manufacturing, and that experience over the years really kind of set the ground for me to tackle any sort of design problem that I wanted to go after. And what happened was, probably, like I said, 12 years into it, I realized I wanted to start my own company. I'd seen lots of products out there that were really cool, and thought, hey, could I design my own product that solved, somebody's need, and then build a company around it? So ultimately didn't really want to work for somebody anymore. I wanted to build my own company. So I had been playing hockey my whole life, and it was one of the areas of kind of deep personal interest, and I thought if I was going to start a company, I better pick a product that's in a field or in an area that I could be interested in for a long time. So prior to this, it was designing products of all sorts, mostly medical devices.
So when starting Sparx, you started the process on Kickstarter, and you raised over $176,000 with a goal of $60,000, so you nearly almost tripled it. So what are your thoughts behind the success on Kickstarter, and what steps did you take to lead you into the major success?
So yeah, Kickstarter was really fascinating. It was going to be the proving ground for whether or not this product was going to be successful and whether or not we could build a company out of it. As all of you know, hockey is a niche market. This wasn't a mass market, a mass market play from an entrepreneurial standpoint. I wasn't going after, the next Facebook or, or something like Uber or, something that would be sold to everybody on the planet. So when I was initially talking to investors, there was some concern like, hey, this product is really great. It solves an unmet need, but are there enough customers out there? So what Kickstarter allows you to do, as most of you know, is it allows you to really prove is there demand for a product, and if the campaign wasn't successful, I could kind of fold everything up and go try to find another problem to tackle. I think probably the biggest contributor to our success on Kickstarter was the fact that we timed Kickstarter with the launch of our campaign with the Let's Play Hockey event in Minnesota. If I have to look back and kind of pick one thing to tell every Kickstarter person out there, if you're going to run a campaign, time that campaign with another big mass publicity type event to get to the market that you're trying to go after. So by timing the Kickstarter launch right with the Let's Play Hockey event, we had 50,000 people come to run past a booth, basically heading to some of the bigger manufacturers in hockey. They would run past our booth, and we had signs up that said, this is the next best thing. It's the latest Kickstarter. It's going to solve all your problems with skate sharpening. So that 50,000 people running past our booth was a big help for us in Kickstarter.
So do you feel Kickstarter is more beneficial for Sparx as like financially, like raising all the money, or like from a marketing standpoint, like getting the awareness? Like how were you able to leverage the Kickstarter success into sales after the pre-order?
So I can't really think of I think most successes from Kickstarter result, it's really a marketing success. I don't think a lot of, and just from my personal experience, many of the campaigns that I've seen and products that I've seen become successful after Kickstarter really got most of their benefit from Kickstarter purely from marketing. The amount of money that you raise, especially because the backers are typically paying you money that's equivalent to the value of the product, and in many cases it's money that's not equivalent to the value of the product because you really don't understand pricing yet when you're doing a Kickstarter campaign. So the money that you receive from the campaign really only pays for the product. So it doesn't pay you money to go develop the product or figure out your marketing strategy or other things like that. So you can't really rely on, I'd say, Kickstarter to fund the business development. You can really rely on Kickstarter to get the word out about your product and prove that there are lots of customers out there like you. If you're the person that recognizes this unmet need, with Kickstarter, you can go find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other people, or thousands or millions of other people that have that same unmet need. And that really helps investors understand the size of the opportunity. So for us, it gave us a lot of confidence.
All right, so post Kickstarter, how did you roll into like the high demand and the pre-orders after that? Like post Kickstarter, like what did you do after?
Yeah, this is actually a really funny story because, and I'm sure everyone that's done a successful Kickstarter event has encountered this. So we ran our Kickstarter campaign for 45 days. I think we sold close to 300 skate sharpeners in that period of time, and the word was just getting out. At the end of that campaign, there was people telling people, "Hey, I purchased one of these. I backed the campaign." And so when the campaign ended, we were just receiving emails every day about, I missed the campaign. How do I buy one? And on our side, we were working days and nights to try to make the campaign successful and stay, alive and answer the questions that were coming in. But once the campaign was over, we were in this like chasm. We didn't understand. We didn't have the technology in place to continue accepting orders. And there are tools out there to do this. It took us a long time to find the right tools to use, but we hadn't yet developed our e-commerce site on our side, so we didn't really have a way to take payment or anything like that. And so it took us a couple of weeks to kind of get our act together and get these tools in place, and we did. And for the next probably the length of time it took us to get from there till when we were almost delivering product, we were on this intermediate website continuing to take pre-orders. So that's where we racked up north of 1,000 sharpeners over the next several months to half a year. And that put us into a much bigger backorder situation than we thought we would be in when we first started shipping. So it was Kickstarter to your own e-commerce site is actually a big void, a void that is difficult to fill because nobody wants to invest money in this intermediate spot. So we were trying very quickly to get to our e-commerce site, but again, we had this demand that we didn't want to miss. So with that, that's the end of our first episode of The Edge. Thanks for tuning in, and please keep submitting comments. We will address the questions as they come in, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Thanks a lot.